What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with RK Outpost, and it looks like YouTubers are not the only ones being done dirty by Sony and Naughty Dog in regards to The Last of Us Part 2. It seems as though some games journalists, and I know that's a group that we always will feel very badly for, games journalists, they're not getting the same access that they are used to. They're not getting the same review copies that they would normally get. And I know before we sob in tears, we'd feel very bad for the games journalists. Let's dive into it a little bit, and then I will heavily criticize one of the individuals involved in this, who I got into a little spat with. Now, this right here, this is where it started as far as I can tell. Eric Kane, verified Twitter account. Disappointed that Sony has decided, for no stated reason, to decline to provide me with hashtag The Last of Us 2 review code. Oh, so sad. I've reviewed a lot of PlayStation games over the years and am definitely a little baffled by this. Oh well, them's the breaks. I'll buy it and review it later. Then he shrugs, as if he doesn't care at all. We'll see later with his spurg out on his Twitter timeline that he does really care. And it was retweeted right here by Paul Tassi. Yeah, we just got a flat, no, you're not getting a review copy with no further explanation, which confuses me to say the least. Will buy, play, review at launch. No doubt within 48 hours of release, knowing me. Now, I think that this is interesting, and I might have a reason why this happened. As you know, Sony and Naughty Dog have been very selective with who they are copyright striking, with the exception of, maybe Twitter, where they DMCA literally their own tweets from the PlayStation account. But as far as YouTube channels go, it seemed like only people were highly critical of the game were actually getting struck down. I've made this reference many times before. I know of a channel that covered the same exact article, that showed the same exact images I did. That video got over 400,000 views, whereas my all got struck because I was pretty hard on the game. I do think it's interesting to note that Forbes and Paul Tassi covered the leaks when they happened. Not in very big detail. He didn't go and spoil a ton of it, but he did show that it seemed to be causing a lot of damage for Naughty Dog, and which I thought that's interesting. Look here, warning, massive The Last of Us Part 2 leak reveals plot details you don't want to see. Not great news for Naughty Dog as they scramble to do damage control over a major leak of The Last of Us Part 2. So this was one of those first big articles to really hit that was critical of... I won't say it's critical of Naughty Dog and Sony, but it just lays out the whole picture and how so many people were really upset about what was going on. Could the fact that Forbes put this article out there, could that have led Sony to tell them they are not getting review copies? I think that that's interesting theory, and just further goes to show you that Sony is trying to you pad the scores, pad the reviews, do this whole thing where the only people that are going to do reviews are ones who are guaranteed to give good reviews. And I will cover a YouTuber later who that may be the case. Maybe that's why this YouTuber specifically got a review copy. It's shady. We all know that this is shady. If you usually give out review copies, but you don't this time because they covered something, that is garbage, no matter who you are. And Sony, Naughty Dog should be absolutely ashamed of themselves as they try to continue to do damage control. But Eric Kane, I wanted to talk about him a little bit here. Now, he responded to Jeremy after Jeremy responded to his initial tweet, being upset that he wasn't going to get a free copy of the game because, for us as YouTubers who had our voices attempted to be silenced by Sony and Naughty Dog for 3 weeks while the mainstream media didn't do anything, didn't talk about it, all they did were articles like this. Those Last of Us Part 2 leaks were not from an angry Naughty Dog employee, hackers likely. All they did, and I'm just pointing up Forbes because I was talking about Paul Tassi anyway, these places like IGN, Games Radar, Games, all these places, they came out with these articles towing the Sony line. Yeah, it was just hackers, guys. That's who it was. No angry employees, and then we haven't heard any information for the past 3 weeks. Because guess what? No one believes that this is the case. All the numbers and everything they put out as far as when this game leaked don't make sense when you look at the footage. But anyway, he says this: I'm not obligated to cover something that you're interested in. Not covering something says literally nothing about me. I have covered plenty of controversies in the past and tried to be fair with each. This is a bad take, dude. Well, you may think that Jeremy had a bad take. You're the one who's getting wrecked, to be quite honest. I said, no, you're not obligated to cover anything. But when you don't cover clear copyright abuse towards consumers, then cry about not getting your shill copy of The Last of Us 2, we're going to point and laugh at you. Hashtag F Naughty Dog. And that was not the end. This verified Twitter user, 27,000 followers, decided he really needed to respond to me. He said, where's the YouTuber outrage and coverage of game critics not getting review copies? Should I just laugh at you for your obvious refusal to cover this important issue? Some synapses are clearly not firing here. Well, and then I'll even show you. I mean, this has 12 likes. Verified Twitter user, 12 likes. Good to know. Subscribe to my channel, bitch. I'll be covering it tomorrow. And he really inspired me so much that I'm covering it today because he was such a pussy and a spurg on Twitter. He didn't respond. Too late. You haven't covered it yet, so I will mock you, deride you, and swear at you and dogpile you, etc., etc. Of course, this guy is talking almost 4 weeks after this initially took place. This is what he's saying now, an hour after he posted. And so I say back, if I ignore it for the next 3 weeks, then yeah, feel free. Go ahead, do all those things to me. Sony and Naughty Dog didn't take away my special access or take away free shit that I get. They abused the DMCA system to take away our voices while games journalists stayed silent. Go F yourself. And since this point, you can take a look through his timeline. He is literally just freaking out about everything, not getting any traction, but retweeting so many people that, should really be pretty irrelevant to him, to be quite honest. Big time access game journalist. It really looks like you're a little more upset about this than you think. Look at all these tweets. These are all since that one 2 hours ago. This is all of him spurging out. He's freaking out. And so I decided to take a look. I wanted to see maybe if he'd covered anything. He's done one video on The Last of Us Part 2, I think, talking about the initial trailer. He didn't do anything covering any of the leaks or anything like that. I don't know how aware he is of it, to be quite honest. You'd think he would be if he wants a... Here's the one that I found. Watch the new Last of Us Part 2 trailer here. If he wants a review copy so badly, you'd think he'd be talking about it a little more, but he's not. I did find one thing. The one article I read from him about the Snyder Cut, I wanted to see. Look, he misspelled Snyder. He misspelled Zack Snyder. He said Zack Cinders. What an idiot. This is the guy. This is the dude right here who just retweeted and corrected him. To use the proper grammar. This dude is a journalist. This is what he does for a living. He misspelled Zack Snyder's name. And then in literally the third sentence of this article, he says right here, the Justice League released in March of 2018. Justice League released in November of 2017. You are an idiot, Eric Kane. Are you freaking kidding me? You are doing no research on this. This tells me all I need to know about this guy. You misspelled the title and you get the release date wrong, which tells me you don't know anything about Justice League, you don't know anything about DC. You're just writing to write garbage. And I went ahead and Googled Justice League because I wanted to see, maybe where did he get this? Turns out the Google store, like where you can go buy Justice League, it says it released in March of 2018. That's likely when it got released digitally or for Blu-ray or whatever. The theatrical release was in November of 2017. Obviously, I know that by heart because I went and saw it. I actually care about these characters. He's just writing to write. Eric Kane is an absolute idiot. But one thing I wanted to look at was one of the responses I saw from Richard Hogue. I've been paying a lot of attention to him. Go check out his YouTube channel, please. You won't regret it. He retweeted Paul Tass's initial tweet. He says, yeah, we just got a flat, no, you aren't getting a review copy with no further explanation, which confuses me to say the least. We already talked about that. Given the kind of tweets we saw from the Game Over Greggies of the world, it's very interesting to see what Sony is doing with its launch review strategy here. And I didn't know too much about this guy. I did see this one. I have it. I'm playing it. I'm reviewing it. That's when his review will go up, and he is playing The Last of Us Part 2. He got a review copy, so I went to his YouTube channel, Kinda Funny Games. It's him and a bunch of other people that do videos here. I wanted to check it out. They talk about The Last of Us Part 2 review embargo. I want to see, when did he talk about the leaks? That's what I wanted to know. I really wanted to see what his take on the leaks was. Let's see. No videos about the leaks. That's weird. No videos about the leaks. Oh, release dates confirmed. Of course, this was after the leaks happened, so no coverage about the leaks at all. That's strange. Oh, the Naughty Dog hack. The Naughty Dog hack. So towing the Sony line, claiming about the Naughty Dog hack as opposed to any of the other stuff that was out there before. Very interesting. Then a couple days later, The Last of Us Part 2's final trailer is incredible. Those are the videos I see on The Last of Us Part 2. Really makes sense why someone like this would get a review copy, doesn't it? This is all so shady and so typical of what we've seen through that entire thing. And I'm going to look into more of this. I just wanted to say one thing, Eric Kane. Yeah, I did cover this because I do think it is important that we talk about these things and what Sony's practices are. I don't feel bad for you that you didn't get your free copy of the game, that you can't write your article, because given the one article I clicked on that had 2 errors within the first 20 seconds of me looking at it, I can probably tell that your stuff is going to be shit anyway, to be quite honest. And the fact that you're getting so defensive and freaking out about it on Twitter tells me all I need to know about you. You are getting absolutely destroyed because you are the one that has a horrible take. Enjoy it the rest of the day as people start to dogpile on you. You're just trying to play the victim. No one cares that Sony's not giving you free access anymore. I'm interested to know why that is, but I don't feel bad for you. Sony and Naughty Dog are trash, and the Access journalists who have done their job to try to protect them thus far, I don't feel bad for you. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I will talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.